What is going on, Panther Lair? We are talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers loss to the Quinnipiac Bobcats this past Sunday night. Now, I haven't talked a lot about defense to this point. Wanted to definitely get into that for this video, just given how poor the defense played on Sunday night. So I want to dive into a couple clips here. I want to take a look at a couple different things. These are not in chronological order, kind of group them based on theme. So let's dive into this. First one, I think, is just bad positioning. And, sometimes not knowing where the ball is, and that's like a pretty basic one. So take a look at this one early in the first half. Quinnipiac did a good job of forcing a lot of switches. We'll get into that. And then they attacked into that. So, you switch guard to guard screen here. The likelihood of 24 rolling, I think, is low given that it's a guard to guard screen, unless they saw something on film. But here you go. Minor turns his back completely to the ball. Kind of tries to get into a denial position, which doesn't work at all. And then it's now just a clear lane directly to the basket. Gets beat off the dribble. Corin can't get in foul trouble to begin with. Also not really a rim protector. And Bobcats get a layup. So we go a little bit later here in the first half. Again, this is just not great when you look at how this plays out here and how all these players end up converging. No communication there really until it's too late. So we'll go back, play it again. Stop right here. You see you have Sualipa closing out. You have Dunning Jr. in pursuit. You have Witherspoon crashing down in pursuit. And all three go to the ball. And what happens is, as they start to have to switch back out, rotate back out to pick up the open players, there's only a little bit of communication here. Indrusitis is saying, hey, pick up this guy. Dunnings Jr. saying, okay, well, I need you to pick up this guy, Indrusitis. And then Sualipa's calling out, hey, someone needs to pick up the ball. So I don't think, given the fact that one guy has his back turned to this, one guy can't see any of these three guys. Sorry, this is more. And then, Corin is obviously not going to vacate here. That, this just has disaster written all over it. This player attacks right into the seam that's created by the rotation. And again, Corin not trying to pick up fouls, tries to go up tall. Not really a rim protector, and Quinnipiac gets another layup. So here we go a little bit in the second half. These clips are, helping out of the strong side corner, which is just really not good to do at any time. And we'll see exactly how the Bobcats were able to create opportunities to do so, or to kind of attack those instances in which Pitt decided to help out of the strong side corner. So you see here they're running just a little bit of a... They'll end up running not much of anything, actually, on this clip. Sorry, I had these maybe backwards, but just a little bit of drive here on Sualipa forces Witherspoon to just kick over a little bit. I kind of feel like he didn't need to do this at all. This ends up being a miss, but you can just see, if we go back here, again, the impact of literally just what the kind of shots can be generated when you just choose to help out of the strong side corner. So I don't know if Sualipa gets completely beat here off the dribble. He did get absolutely crushed on a left-to-right crossover by Amari Moore later on in the second half. But, Witherspoon, this is not discipline. You just can't help out of the strong side corner here like that. And then again, Corin not a rim protector. They do get the rebound. All right, here we go. This is the clip I thought we were going to get earlier on. So here they're going to run just a ball screen. So Minor decides that he is going to just completely play this left-handed drive. I do not love this position. At best case scenario, this is going to cause a switch, right? Because at least Corin establishes a drop point at the three-point line. So should the screen be used, you're going to have a stunt here. You're going to have Corin who can just switch over. But I just don't think this is great defense by Minor, because this forces a switch, which is just not a good scenario at this point. Because now you don't really have the same type of... court length for the stunt here, or, if had he used the screen, I think there's a scenario where Minor just goes completely under and meets him again. But this is going to force Dunning Jr., just given the mismatch, to help a little bit more. I mean, maybe if he's kind of more positioned here, but again, they just probably watch some guy get beat here backdoor, so he's not trying to do this. But just helps just a little bit of a hesitation here. Stays for a beat too long, unsure with the contest, they give up a three. Okay, now this is how, Quinnipiac just generated a ton of switches. I mean, they were effective in their player movement, purposeful. We'll try to figure out how many switches happen here. I think it's 5, maybe 4 or 5. So Minor, there's the first switch. We have see the switch here, and then these players are going to go to the cutter. So not ideal communication here. Minor picks up, so this ends up being a switch. And then these players reset. You can see the push on this side here to force a switch, right? Kind of a very physical bump up the switch. And then we have the switch here. So I think at that point, I think we're talking 4, right? And then this is a switch again, 5, but this does switch Minor back onto his original assignment. But you see, again, caught ball watching, not great positioning. I think there's a little bit of confusion here as to what's going on. Moore just cuts back door and gets an easy layup. So the defense really did not play well. Obviously had 83 points put on them at home, where, you know, the Bobcats went over 50% from the floor and I believe over 40% on threes. So just not a great defensive effort. A lot of things, bad positioning, not great communication. And those two things can really, really add up, right? If you don't position yourself well, you create openings for other teams to take advantage of. And when you're not communicating, which is pretty much one of the number 1 or 2 things you should do on defense, you're going to have, you know, teams be able to get easy baskets on you like we saw on Sunday night. So expect this to be cleaned up. Not sure it's going to make a difference with the uptick in competition against Ohio State, but we'll see.